welcome everybody. I'm Matt with Gear Focus, and we're here today on our first episode of Between Two Cameras. Today we have Katie Cymbala, and we're so glad to have you, and we're so glad for you to have us here for our first episode. How does it feel to be possibly the test subject of a very short-lived YouTube series?
I mean, I love this idea. I love just being able to create resources for people who are out there really trying to make it in this industry. So, to be a part of it is kind of cool in my book. So thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so warm and inviting here. You guys can see this is what I am going to call a lifestyle studio, photo studio. And we're going to go over some tips on why this is a great option, especially for beginners and professionals, to up your quality of production, save you some time, also give you a nice controlled environment versus out in the elements with rain and snow and sun and light and sound. In fact, I have a couple horror stories of outdoor shoots involve birds that have just eaten dinner. I've
had construction workers.
Or like that noise right there.
Or like that noise right there.
So this is not a video studio, this is a photo studio, but there are lifestyle places that are nice and quiet for video. But we're going to go into some of these tips, but I'd like to start out of you just sharing basically how you got started here.
Yeah, so at the height of COVID, I was just noticing that photo shoots were starting to increase. But we didn't necessarily have locations. Like it was winter time, and I had just been laid off from my job in the middle of the summer. So going into 2021, I noticed that during the winter time, I just wasn't booking as much as I could be because I didn't have a location. So it just kind of became a goal of mine. I was like, I think I need a studio so that I could shoot year round. I didn't have to just depend on magic hour, or sunrise or sunset.
You can make magic hour.
I can make it happen here, So I think that was really the intentionality behind why we did it. Yeah,
so
it's really like that. I've had to decline clients because of the sound, but it's definitely not a sound-proof environment. Anyone who's coming in here to do like floating head interviews, I let them know ahead of time, hey, I'm in a warehouse. This isn't the spot for you. I wish you luck. And my hope is to eventually open up another one that does have, that does provide that kind of soundproofing. But as of right now, we're sticking with this location for now. But that is, on the horizon, something that we're definitely looking to do.
Awesome. No, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. And, it does save you time. We were talking earlier before we started that it took you about a month to find all of the props, and that's when you're trying to create that lifestyle photo environment. It's really hard to find those things, whether you're looking in the classifieds and thrift shops and things like that. A lot of,
Or do you have the budget for that? And then, and even if you were to find those items, where will you store it? Like we were saying, where would you store it? So I think it's just impractical. I know of people who just have a lot of props and they just store it in their houses, and
not everybody can fit a grand piano.
I can't fit a grand piano in my house, like I live in a Baltimore townhome, so definitely not something practical, which is why having something like this that gives us the ability to kind of go that extra mile to give things that you probably wouldn't have in a Baltimore row home. You get to get it here, and you still get that industrial chic kind of vibe that you would want in an urban environment. So that's definitely, I think that I did a lot of the work for everyone. I saw, I looked, I really did seek high and low for all these things that are in here now, and I think we pulled it off.
Absolutely, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and let's talk about pricing. Very upfront with people of letting people know it's 100 and.
It can range anywhere from 110 to 120. It depends on what website you're on.
So obviously, you guys, you hear a lot of noise. This is not a video environment. Like Katie said, this is for photos, so we apologize about the woodworker upstairs or to the side or wherever he is, maybe above those pipes over there. But it is a beautiful area, and it's about 100 and 120. Now, how did you come to that price point? Did you research what other studios like this were charging?
For sure, I researched. I looked. The main source that I really use is PeerSpace.
PeerSpace.
PeerSpace is really the go-to site that I use,
Okay.
and where I book the majority of the renters that we have.
This video is now sponsored by PeerSpace.
You're welcome.
The invoice is in the mail. So that's what I was going to ask you is, where you promote, because we found each other on Facebook, on a group on Facebook.
And I just pretty much put it out there on all the groups that I'm a part of with the DMV, Nat Geo group, like all those kind of video production folks. I just kind of put it on there and I said, hey, just open this up.
Hey, Sherwin is Nat Geo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sherwin's Nat Geo, right?
Yeah, I produce for them.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, sir.
Well, we like to promote everybody. Like that's what Gear Focus is about. We're here to help feed people's passion.
For sure.
That was the tagline that I came up with when I started helping feed your passion, because it is a very expensive hobby.
No, I wouldn't call it a hobby.
Gear is very expensive.
Yeah.
If that's what it is, for a lot of people, it isn't their full-time job, where they're just getting started. It's a hard and an expensive thing to get started at.
Absolutely.
So not only do you have all the props that someone doesn't have to buy that you've beautifully put together here, do you lend a hand to the photographers that come in and help them with setup and direction?
I do, if they add that to their,
Yeah.
there's an option on my PeerSpace where you could rent a lighting consultant is what I called it, and it pretty much comes with me and all the gear.
Okay.
So outside of that, you would have to bring in your own
Okay.
lighting equipment. Just,
Yeah.
it's expensive equipment as we've been talking. And
Absolutely.
if
Yeah.
I had someone that really didn't know what they were doing, messing around with my 300X,
Absolutely.
I'd have a bit of an issue if something
Yeah.
were to happen to
Yeah.
it. And it's not cheap gear.
Yep. So what is that charge? So it's 100 to 100 or 110 to like 130, whatever, an hour. What do you charge for that? And is that
For
a
the
flat fee?
to rent the gear and have me on set to just light everything, I decided to put it at 500.
Okay.
Because that just an hour of my time.
Yep.
If it goes any further than that, doesn't matter because it's just a flat fee.
And that's all the gear. That's direction. That's everything. So it's great for somebody who's just starting out, because it's like taking a course on it as well too.
Right, because you get to learn, you get to see. I'm
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Oh, you see this shadow? This is what we're gonna do to get rid of this guy.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so lighting. I guess starting off with photography first, definitely lighting was like something I've always really enjoyed. So moving to video, it was pretty fun to now use continuous lights and get to
Yep.
mess around and create kind of really quite like atmospheric
Yep.
kind of lighting.
Yeah.
I guess you would say. And then we got a bunch of practicals everywhere that we could just stick. But yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. Well, I think that this has really helped some people as far as bringing the production level up and considering renting a space for their next production. So let's recap. We have controlled environment, all the props, cost as well, because you're going to have to buy those. Up your production value, and just really that experience of it and the training that you get, especially for beginners. And obviously it gives you the look and feel that you want. Now, that was another question too. Do people often bring in their own stuff too?
Yeah, we've had people completely redo this entire space where and you have the ability to move anything in here, like
Move anything around,
everything
yeah.
can be moved. The only thing we ask that people don't move are like the baby grand, and,
baby grand,
and
yeah.
the vintage mirror.
And the vintage mirror. Yeah.
Just those are the only two items. I mean, it's ginormous. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody can really move it, but those are the only things we really kind of put a stop on. But even myself, when I do larger productions, I'll move the piano as long as I have my team with me and
Sure.
things like that. But it's possible as long as you're asking permission. But I've seen people bring in a ridiculous amount of gear and do something in here that I wouldn't have even imagined.
Give me a crazy one.
So I had a guy who they brought in like a sheer fabric, and they kind of made it fall from the top.
Really?
Yeah, made it fall from the top. They put all the plants and everything, and they brought in this really exotic looking chair, and then they had haze everywhere, and they had colored lights going up, and I was just like, wow, this is quite the production, you know. And it was for a music video, so it's part of the production value, right?
I'm telling you, those music production guys, they go all out.
They really do. It was a lot, but I mean, it's cool to see just the way people's creativity just takes the space kind of gives itself for you to just be free roaming with your creativity. And I think that's what's kind of cool about it, and that everybody that has come in here so far all have had like an amazing experience, or they really enjoyed just the energy, like I said, the creative energy that's felt or sensed in here, because it definitely does kind of flow. So that's been really cool to see, that it's not just me that I get to feel that. Anyone who comes in here gets to feel that. So so like I said, if there isn't any like lighting experience, I would definitely either bring someone with you who does. But that was one of the more crazier ones, and I think in the very beginning I had you might like this. I actually had a PRS rent the space.
Oh, really?
Yes, PRS rented our
Paul
space.
Reed, huh?
Yeah.
I got to play Paul Reed Smith guitar at a jam session in Bethesda, Maryland one time.
Ooh.
That was pretty fancy.
Oh, no.
He just handed me his guitar. He's like, I'm like, ooh, I like that one. He goes, here, use it during your jam. So.
And the interesting thing is that they came in here because they wanted a house-looking setting. So then, a guy working on his guitar, working on some licks, and so they put the desk that we have over there next to this mirror, and they just completely like transformed how they did it. They put up lights and again haze everywhere, and just it was just a cool thing to just see how people really do just use the space and just make it their own.
And I think that's the big thing too. It's like going to an office versus working out of your house. Or walking out the door. Yes, there's great areas and people get very creative with location shoots. But just walking in here, I had so many ideas for areas, angles of these shots even that we had. And you just have made us feel so welcome, and we really appreciate it.
And that's definitely something for me in the personal. It's just hospitality and just customer experience is something that's like a background for me. So it's at the very forefront of everything that I do. It's like I treat everything like I care, like it's mine.
And that's a beautiful thing, definitely.
For sure.
Our world definitely needs it now.
People that care.
People that care, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Katie. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Definitely, we will put all the links in the description of this video to Katie's website, which we have already gone over. Is going to come up with a name. So if you have name ideas for Katie, put them down in the comments below.
Name my studio.
Name Katie's studio and get some free Gear Focus swag. We'll send some stuff out to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of Between Two Cameras. I'm Matt with Gear Focus. We're out of here.